say 3-word. Oh yeah, thanks, Rob, or whoever's recording. That's very
Yeah,
helpful.
that was me. Yeah.
Perfect. So the idea of the game is, well, somebody is a scribe, somebody's typing, and I say HSC is a, and then I say Basil, and Basil says 3 words, and then Basil says Kim, and then the next 3 words go into the statement, right? So it's like one of those write the story together kind of games, just to see like what language emerges. And it's going to be rough and it's going to be weird and whatever. And my thought is we would maybe do that for a period of time. We could decide that we're starting with trying to craft a mission statement or a vision statement or purpose. We would want to choose which one we are playing with as a hot potato game. The next step would be to whatever gibberish we come up with, to take turns like being the editor. So someone could raise their hand, and whoever raised their hand first tells us like, oh, I would edit in this way, and then we do that. Then the next person raised their hand and like, okay, I would edit it in this way, and we do that. So that collectively we're editing, maybe just a few sentences. This is not at all giving us a finished product. It's just one idea that I came up with of how to get closer to some shared language. The only other thing I could really come up with is that one person or a subcommittee of us take all of this and they try to craft a draft of some statements and bring it back to the group, which I'm also down for. So chime in, tell me what you think.
I mean, we could do both. I mean, the hot potato game sounds fun. We could try it and just, see what happens. And then, yeah, I mean, then I also like the subcommittee, writing, or, we could try and, we could try, for a little bit being the subcommittee and writing it out here. And then, if we don't get finished, then we could sort of, talk, decide on people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do other folks think?
Yeah, let's just start with the hot potato, I guess. And we'll take it from there.
Okay. Do people want that like few minutes of like solo free writing before we go into a group hot potato? Or just go into it? All right, let's go into it.
Yeah,
It
either
like,
or is fine.
yeah,
with me.
it's all an experiment. We are really improvising here. So great. Okay. So before we start the hot potato, I would like to distinguish like what statement are we working with? I wasn't sure from the resources you pulled together, Rob, if is there a recommendation in there of starting with vision, mission, or purpose?
Yeah, I don't know if in my research, if I discovered, exactly, but I feel like, and I was actually pondering this question on my walk today before the meeting. And I feel like it helps to start with the purpose statement. And then the vision, and then the mission, because the purpose is like this base foundation. Like, why are we even here? What are we trying to do? It doesn't really have to have any specifics about like the what or the how, and then the vision is more like, okay, what do we want to see, coming? And then the mission, gets more into details. So I think that's a nice way to move through it.
Okay, great. Wait, let's do that. So let's work with the purpose statement. And I pulled out this paragraph that defines like the purpose statement answers, why does our organization exist? So, for the hot potato, it could start like this. HSC exists to. Does that sound okay to people? I guess I can type for now.
Or the purpose of HSC, or not the purpose of, or either way, it both works.
Okay. Exists to. Okay, so I'm gonna pass it. Next person will say 3 words and we'll just go for a little bit. Just try to like pass it to the person who hasn't said anything yet. Does that sound good? Okay, so
Yeah.
HSC exists to Basil.
Empower and unite. Rob.
Its members to find their mission and purpose. Kim.
Honor our nature. Zoe.
Facilitate helping or supporting each other. It's not 3 words. Jonas.
Wait. Honor nature, facilitate,
You have
supporting each other.
you have to finish the sentence. Yeah.
In each person's development. Kimberly, did you do already?
No, I think we're just keeping going, right? We're just gonna keep going.
I think so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
How about we start a new sentence but starts the same?
okay.
Where is this being written? Is there a place I can read what we just
In the
made?
meeting notes.
It's in meeting notes. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. So can I just start the next one?
Sounds
Okay,
good.
we're still on purpose. We're just generating like a new sentence about purpose. So HSC exists to gosh, my brain. HSC exists to collectively organize freelancers. Oh, Kimberly.
Support circular systems. Basil.
So it was support the
Circular systems, circular ecosystems, circular economies.
Circular.
Is it?
Wait, who has the potato?
Me.
Oh, okay.
HSC exists to collectively organize freelancers to support the circular ecosystems of our entrepreneurial members. And then I'll pass to Rob.
To earn a livelihood while being fulfilled and having meaning in their work. Zoe?
I can't remember all of the beginning, and my document is not loading very quickly. It's crashing my browser. So
Here, I just put what we
maybe
have
could you
so
write
far
in
in
the
the
chat?
chat. Yeah,
Thank you. That's
that's what we have so far.
awesome. Google Drive sometimes crashes my browser. Okay. It just exists to collectively
I would say
organize feelings.
you could possibly also feel free to make a full stop if you want.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know what you just said. I'm sorry. I can't hear you. But if you want to take my turn while I read the sentence, you could go, Jonas.
Yeah, then I think I would make a full stop and start a new.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
I agree.
HSC exists to. Okay, but I haven't thought about that.
Circular. I support the full stop. Exists to organize freelancers with circular ecosystems or entrepreneurial membership.
It really helps to see the sentence that
Yeah.
I understand what we're doing.
Yeah, somehow
This is
I
fun.
feel the also brain overload a little bit.
That's a rich sentence. It's like a dense chocolate cake,
Yeah.
you
And it's,
know.
remember, it's just the potato's so hot. So, so you
Oh yeah, true.
use that as motivation to just throw out anything.
Oh no, you know what happens when I say the first word that comes to my head.
Yeah, I like it. It's a hot potato.
HSC
Penguin.
exists to socks and rainbows. HSC exists to create a safe space.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. I want to say something that hasn't already been said. Let me see if there's any other topic. Fulfilling your work, safe space. And oh, Zoe, you're gonna always go back to capitalism and
Yes.
ponder a world beyond
Yes.
capitalism. Oh gosh, Zoe.
I know. Gotta be who you are.
Yeah.
You want to pass it on?
Who hasn't gone?
I think
Sierra,
we're,
Rob,
yeah,
Kimberly,
it goes
Basil.
over again. So you can pass the potato to whoever you want.
Maybe Saya, are you participating or just taking notes?
Yeah, no, I'm participating. Someone else took over
Okay.
this for the moment. So
Yeah, right.
A world beyond capitalism that is ecologically sustainable. Oh, passing to Rob.
Nice, love it.
And creates a new model for working together. A new collaborative model, maybe, for working together, or a new model for working together based on collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, basil, potato. Basil?
I'm working.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Model for working together. In collective ecstasy.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna just suggest like we pause there, take a breath, like put the
How to write
potato
it on a-
down for a few minutes, like maybe just shake, like breathe, just be like, I feel like I kind of stop breathing because I'm like anticipating what's
Mm.
next and I'm like trying to think quickly. So, um, cool. Great. Do we want to like try another round with mission or vision? Was there a sequence there, Rob? You said that it seemed like purpose emerged as the first stepping stone. Is there a second one?
I think vision is the second one.
Okay, vision. So some of the description of vision that I saw has to do with where are we going?
Mm,
Yeah, vision is like super aspirational. It's like, what does the
Right.
world look like when we meet our purpose?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great.
Or purpose, that's good.
So our vision is, okay, so that would be, let's see, how do we want to start that sentence?
Um,
The vision of HSC is, or
or may, yeah, maybe like the future, when we meet our purpose, the future looks like, or yeah, the future will look like, or this is, yeah, something like that.
Okay. What does the world look like when we meet our purpose? When we meet our purpose. Okay, let's try it. Anybody wanna jump in and then pass the potato?
I'll jump in. When we meet our purpose, the world will look like, or the world will be, um, will be, a world with where there's where all people have a safety net in regards to their basic needs. And I'm gonna pass the hot potato to Jonas.
That was a safety net in regards to their
Oh, it's to their basic needs.
needs.
Basic
Everyone
needs met.
everyone will be able to work on their true passion. So yeah,
therefore fulfilling human potential spiritually. Oh, basil.
so that humanity finds its ikigai.
Hmm.
Saya.
Cool. Okay, so full stop there. And then I would start the next sentence with like HSC envisions a world where collective, non-hierarchical I'm just going to keep going. Not going to do 3 words. Self-governance
Cool.
is the norm,
Nice.
period. Passing to whoever's next. Kimberly.
She may have just.
Oh, she did. I wasn't looking at the Zoom. Okay. I don't know who else is. I guess we're just going around again. Okay, Rob.
Oh, let's see. Where are we? Oh yeah, HSC envisions a world where collective, non-hierarchical self-governance is the norm. And the collaboration between individuals and organizations. Cultivates regeneration in our world. Okay, Kim, hot potato.
And a better understanding of each other.
Who do you pass it on to?
Sorry, forgot. Did not everybody go? Whoever's next.
Probably.
Yeah, I think yeah, who's oh, Jonas? I don't.
Heck, what's not been said yet? We will all be happy.
Yay.
I don't know. Basil.
Fostering a global community of inclusivity, sustainability, and mutual respect.
Fostering a global community of
Inclusivity, sustainability,
nice.
mutual respect.
Love it.
Period.
Great. Does that feel like a wrap for people on vision? It's a very global and all-encompassing vision. So
Yeah. I just
pretty amazing.
my observation on that one was that it flowed. It was easier for people to come to that, and maybe because I think there's a lot of the purpose in the vision and vice versa, and and all of that, but there's something maybe about like the sort of in being like having something specific, like, oh, I'm envisioning this, that's more helpful in or in this kind of exercise than purpose. So just my thought.
Cool. Great. Okay. We could continue with hot potato for another round. Everybody's like kind of on a roll now too. I wonder if that second part flowed more because we had already done some of this hot potato business. So mission. What do we do and for whom? So it's what are we now, but that's part of why we're trying to do this process, is to say, what are we now? I think we can frame it probably for ourselves about what do we want to be now? What do we want to focus on now? Our mission, I mean, we did some of this with you, Zoe, like on a personal level, in terms of our own individual businesses, what we do and who do we serve, what problems do we solve along those lines. This is reminding me of that practice. Okay. Does anybody want to say anything else about like framing mission that would be helpful to define it?
Yeah, it is like it's like in the present. Like what are we doing now in the present, you know? What, even though it's still like a big statement, you know, it's, you know, so it isn't, you know, necessarily like the nitty-gritty of it, but it is more like, you know, like what is our actions, you know, here in present time, right? And like I said, for who? Yeah.
Okay. Great. So it could start off like our mission is to, or HSC's mission is to do, no, for whom? Uh-huh. Okay, great. Anybody want to start off with the potato?
Can we start off with the for whom part first? That makes, as I
Sure.
covered math.
Like start off with like our mission is to
Sure.
serve blah blah blah. Who?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's try it. Yeah.
All right.
You
Kim, you're
wanna
up.
lead us in, Kimberly?
Well, it's already up
That's-
there. So I'll jump in. Here. All right. Kim, you want to go with potato?
Okay, so I'm not seeing where we are right now, but in the document, oh, there, okay.
Yeah, our
Yes,
mission is to
serve.
serve so and so. Yeah.
Nature. Sorry, gotta always put that one in there.
I couldn't hear it.
Nature
Nature.
Oh, great,
Ah,
great.
nature.
and each other, and that's my song.
Great. And pass the potato?
Pass the potato to Sam.
Our mission is to serve nature and each other.
That can almost stand on its own.
Yeah, I know, right? Um, yeah, it almost does, but it doesn't have to. By maintaining authenticity and integrity,
That's already a few words.
I know. All right, I'll pass it. Passing to
back.
Zoe. Yeah.
I'll be back.
Okay.
HSC's mission, I'm reading, is to serve nature and each other by maintaining authenticity and integrity, while focusing on freelancers mainly who want to up level now, but also anyone who's interested in practicing collaborative working models. That's kind of long, sorry.
That's fine. We could put a period there and start a new statement
Okay, here.
and then pass the potato when you're ready.
Oh yeah. Rob.
Potato. All right, so yeah, our mission is to serve independent contractors and entrepreneurs. Let's see. To facilitate participatory models of value and resource exchange, synergizing everyone's input. Oh, and let's see who.
I'm not sure what I
Yeah,
call
Jonas.
anything, but yeah.
Jonas, potato.
Um, to exercising everyone and research exchange, everyone's input, so that we can together create the world we want to live in, together and individually.
Hmm. And anybody not have a potato on mission?
Uh,
I think it.
like to see it.
Okay. Do we want to keep going with mission? Let's, okay, yeah, let's
Feels
do,
complete to
let's,
me.
it feels complete?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Great. And I see that someone is engaging our AI tools to consolidate. So that's fun. Who's doing that?
think
Rob?
they-
I think that was Basil.
That was Basil.
Oh, it's Basil. All right.
I'll do the last one.
Here.
So that's fun. Well, thanks for playing this hot potato game with me, or all together, not with me, but with us. That was cool. It's hard for me to breathe at the same time, but I'm still having fun. Okay, so I thought that we could do some like collective editing on this, but now I'm not so sure. We actually wrote some really great sentences. The thing that I could see happening more is to maybe look at, and maybe this is a subcommittee thing, or maybe we just want to have a conversation to see if we've left anything out that some of us or even all of us found to be very important in the previous in-depth work we've done with this. Yeah, I'm more inclined to go that way, that rather than into like collective editing per se, but more like, what are the ideas that we really want to capture?
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. We can look at what we have and be like, oh yeah, we left this out, or this is super important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's just keep the floor open. Like let's think about it and talk. Like let's just have an open, like we're sitting at a table, right? We're workshopping this together. So I guess chime in when you notice or have an idea of something that we could be including.
There's a word, the only thing, for me, there's this word empowerment, and I actually love the word like collective empowerment. I don't see empowerment unless I'm missing it. I don't yet see that word.
It's at the very top.
That was
of
the
purpose.
first.
It's one of the
Oh,
first.
it's like, oh, it's the first word. It's the first one. Okay.
So you are on target, Rob. You are
So
so on.
sounds like somebody else is on target too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so empowerment, but would you like to see it stronger? Or that phrase that you just said, like collective empowerment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the sort of collective empowerment is in there, but yeah, that word feels very, root to me.
Great.
And of course, it was the first thing that the first person said. So anything we're missing?
I'm just like skimming what we just wrote a little bit. Um, I guess I'm wondering, like, does the, well, I guess where do we get even more specific? You know, is that in goals and strategy that we do later? Or like looking at this paragraph that I pulled out from the curated knowledge base document, it says that together they create a holistic, that's the purpose, the mission, and the vision. Together they create a holistic understanding of the organization's present activities, its reasons for those activities, and the future it hopes to create.
Yeah, I think,
I think eager for
oh.
like the more and more specificity, I guess.
yeah, I think that I found like yeah, like that more specificity, I think is like the next step.
Next, okay.
You know, in the mission there, the mission statement has some of that, you know, but like you know, I feel like it's still, you know, generally fairly broad. You know, what these don't really have is like the strategy, you know, which is kind of that next step, right? Because strategy can change. You know, strategy is like, okay, now what is our approach for doing this? You know, how are we doing this? You know, and that can you know, change, you know, and and it could be different, right? There's a different mix of strategies, but you know, a mission is something, even though, right, these things might change, but like I think that they're built in a way that there's, you know, there's sort of less of that, you know, like if you really, after a certain point, you know, you can really get to like this foundational mission, you know, statement, and you know, if that changes, then you know, then that's a you know, a foundational change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And strategy is kind of fun. Like I'm looking forward to that. You know, I mean, we've started it already, but strategy is sort of where you sink your teeth in and you're like, oh, all right, now let's do stuff.
Right. Right. Yeah, it seems like it's like the linchpin between the mission and visioning and the operations, which I feel like, yeah, we've been like circling around, like because we have a big vision, we could focus on a lot of different activities, but we don't have the number of people or the bandwidth to do all those activities to the nth degree all the time, right? And so like what are the steps that we're doing and taking actions on presently? Yeah, that's where I start to go, because I'm like, yeah, we agree on all this mission vision stuff, right? We're all on the same page. Now what are we going to do?
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I'm like, all right, let's just get these things written, you know, and move on. But I do think it's like, you know, my opinion is that it's super important, you know, to like, these don't have to be perfect statements, you know, but to get them down, you know, and so that's just like, it's the thing you tack on the, you know, on the wall, you know, in the, you know, front entranceway, so everybody sees. And, you know, 4 months down the road, you know, when it's like, oh, you know, nobody knows what we're doing, or I think, you know, if it's chaotic, you know, you sort of like go back and collectively look at that. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, this is kind of like sums up like where I thought we'd get to today in terms of the statements. So maybe we could chat about like what do we do next with these statements? Is it like a subcommittee? Are there any one or two or more people who really want to spend some time with the language of these? And maybe some of that more review of all the other stuff that's been written, some by people who aren't here today, to have their sharing included. How does that sound? Getting some nods. Some
Yeah,
nodding.
I like the idea of a subcommittee. And then of course anybody can be on that subcommittee, but I like that because then you basically are saying like, okay, this is a group of people, whoever it is, that are just gonna like write out the statements, and then can kind of submit them to the group for any, ideas or revisions. And after that, can just, put it in as a proposal, that we vote on. There's also this, go ahead, Basil.
No, yeah, just like the sooner we can get, like, I would say from today or by next week, then like, yeah, then it would have like we could stage the proposal and then people can go look at it and add any more comments into the staged proposal. And it can stay staged as long as we want, but at least it's kind of there in the HSC DAO proposal, and then whenever, we can when we have a larger group, like during a skill share, maybe a skill share about DAO proposal stuff, then we could make that like one of the things that we put up for voting and have, or whatever just the main thing is just get past this and kind of get through this process. Yep. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think I like that subcommittee idea is great, and then that's just, people were saying it's just like they're tasked with the job of writing out these first drafts, and maybe the subcommittee, right, is that I wrote that email a few weeks ago, like about, okay, well, do we, right, I funneled all this information, from our meetings and our notes and everything, and ChatGPT, just like wrote out these statements, and maybe the subcommittee just meets and they're like, yeah, we like those. I actually looked those over before the meeting today, and like the first set, there was two out of three. I was like, dang, that's pretty good. One of them was a little off, but 2 out of 3 were like, that's not bad. But anyways, so yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
Okay, great. So, who wants to be on the committee? Rob does.
Regardless of whether I join it or not, I think it would be nice to hear where people intend to post or communicate these 3 things. Like, is it going to be on a website or social media, or is it going to be in the onboarding process when new people join us? Yeah, like what's the context? I'd love to hear what people think.
Well, I think that like for the mission, purpose, vision, or whatever the consolidation of that is, it's updated on the website. It's on any Notion board that might get created. It's committed into the DAO in the first version. And then that way it's across those channels. And then as far as like social, it goes into the top of the document for anybody who's working on social media copy, just to reference like what is our mission, purpose, values, and then at any given stage in the organization, we might have like objectives that we're working off of, where the social media is serving those objectives, but it's still referencing that sort of core mission, purpose.
Nice.
Something like that.
Great. That's helpful.
Sounds great.
Another question. So that would be for future potential community members. And are you guys thinking of like grants too, or is that too far ahead? I want to visualize everything. Thank you.
Oh my God, like for HSC to apply for grants, uh, similar to what Kim, what Demaria applies for helping to build entrepreneurial, helping people with their businesses, small businesses, for HSC to be able to apply for grants to then help in a similar way to help develop people's, business, small businesses or organizations, or to help NGOs or something. That would be great. And then yeah, then obviously the mission and purpose of HSC would be like in that mission statement of that grant proposal for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels to me like these are sort of flags that you fly everywhere.
Cool.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, so committee is Rob and
Actually, I'd appreciate it if I'm the only one on the committee. And actually, I don't think we should have voting. Just kidding. No, please. Other people.
I love democracy, but I also love Rob's choices. So
it's a Robocracy.
It's a new kind of government. It's called Robocracy. Anybody with the name Rob is automatically in charge.
The reason I'm not jumping into this subcommittee right now is because I'm trying to do 2 months of work in 1 month this month. But I think I would love to support if support is needed. I don't know how many extra hours this month I have though. But in May going forward, I foresee beautiful rainbows and popcorn, candy corn.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea of the subcommittee, of like the support is that like the subcommittee writes it out and then brings it, to the group, including yourself, and then you're like, oh, hey, I think, like I'd like to see this, or you missed this little thing. So I think that is being a support, no matter what.
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, it really just takes one or two people to kind of like circle together, write the copy, put it up in Discord or something, tag other people, say, hey, what do you think about this? Have a little back and forth, and then and then that subcommittee then creates the final document that gets put into the DAO for voting. And then that link to that stage proposal goes back to everybody. And then, and we set like a deadline on voting, or posting it or whatever, and we get it through. And once it's committed, then Rob, then you like update the website. If we have a Notion board, that gets updated. But just speaking about the flag, that gave me an idea, like, okay, I'm going to ask chat, like, okay, now boil this down into a 3 to 5 word tagline. And it gave me empower, unite, regenerate. And another option was collaborate, cultivate, thrive. So we can like also as part of that subcommittee is like come up with like the HSC tag, holistic system, co-op, 3 words, word, something like that.
It's cool.
Great. Kim, I see you have a hand up. Is that you want to say something, or you want to join Rob on the committee? In a second. All right.
Yeah, I'll join Rob on the, we're working a lot together anyway, so we can, it seems natural.
Right now, now it's actually a real committee.
That's what we needed. 2 people.
Yeah.
Which I think means the door is open and anyone else can jump in. And obviously you'll be sharing with us and for everyone's participation. So great. I mean, that really checks off this agenda item really nicely. Thanks so much, Basil, for the extra wordplay there. That's really fun to see these tagline possibilities. I love that. The poet in me loves it when we get down to as few words as possible. I love it so much. Um,
Then maybe you should join the committee, because sometimes I have problems with that.
Whatever you present to us, I'm happy to take a red pen to it.
right.
Down the line. But yeah, I also similarly have a very full plate right now, so I'm being very discerning about what I take on and when. Okay, so that was awesome. We did a ton of visioning stuff. Newman, yeah, thank you for joining. I know you're coming in a little partway there. Hi, welcome. Hopefully you're seeing the notes. We played a little hot potato game. Sorry you missed it. Love to have you on it next time we play hot potato. If we do. Yeah, so I think now what we thought is we would go into some sort of operations check-ins. But Newman, is there anything you'd like to share just to be here with us?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm happy to share the I'm looking at the notes and it looks great. It looks like there's good work going on. I think good things are happening. I'll keep a toe in on it. Yeah, for sure.
Great. Awesome. Great. Thanks. Okay, so yeah, so I thought we would just do a little check-in on how our operation's going. We have people here in our at the table with us who are holding certain roles and tasks, and there also are still roles and tasks to be shared. And I am just going to this part of the meeting notes. Perspective agenda items. Oh yeah. Complete purpose. Okay, we did that. Skillshare poll. That's a reminder. I'll say it again at the end. Google Calendar invite schedule. All right, I think Rob will explain to us what that means when he comes back. I guess why don't we just each speak up, those of us who are like holding a role currently or doing certain tasks. How's it going for you? What needs do you have for support? Or, do you know now that, for example, in a month, you're gonna not want to hold that task, and do we want to talk about how to pass things along? Yeah, so jump on in if there's something you've been helping out with, and how's that going?
Hey, I'll jump in. I am excited to do a skill share. And I feel like I have everything that I need in order to do it. I've seen the skill shares before. I can look back and see what's been done in the past. It is interesting to sort of align with purpose, vision, mission. It's just like, oh, look, this is why I'm choosing or to make the design choices based around that. But I feel like it's not going to change too much. So yeah, I don't think there's any real thing that I need to complete the skill share. Although I guess I don't have a topic picked out specifically yet, unless I do. Let's see.
We did one reminder so far to let people know about that tab on the Google spreadsheet where people can, vote for different skill shares, and say that again for anybody who wasn't there at that time. That on the Google spreadsheet, there's now a third tab, and I think everybody heard it already, actually. Except for you, but you made it, so I don't have to tell you.
It looks like I'm down for April 30th. And topic is to be determined. And so maybe some guidance on the topic. And we had like those Skillshare topics. Okay, let's see. Some folks have added things in. Yeah. Two votes for let's take time to talk about time, which we did sort of last week. So that's cool. I did just as a thing for Zoe there. I had the confidence to go in and actually set up a social media campaign with Buffer, use Buffer, and went through ideation. I had just wrote down ideas and then scheduled them out and had like a nice sort of run up to the thing. And it wasn't like a huge crowd of people showed up, but 2 or 3 people were like, oh, I just saw it on Twitter and came in. So going from 0 to 1 is pretty good.
Cool, great.
That sounds super
So-
exciting. And can you explain to me more about what these mean? What's Buffer? I don't know.
It's an automated social media tool. It's called
It's
Oh.
like Hootsuite or the other ones.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
and-
buffer.com.
You met people on Buffer?
No, I used Buffer to promote an event that I just did, and
Oh,
it was directly related to your 2 skill shares, like about like what people like that first one about everybody's pitfalls, about what happens in
Cool.
a skill share or what happens in social media, and then that second one about really thinking about all those topics and stuff. It was really well done. So
that's
it's
awesome.
Yeah.
Are you on social media? Should I follow you?
yeah, I'm Newman 5 most places. Newman 5 on Twitter and
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yay. That's
So
awesome.
other people, I'm just gonna jump in and just say like, so who else is holding a role or been doing tasks for HSC, and how's that going, and what needs you might have around
And-
that?
And can I just share a new section of while anybody is talking, just do a screen share of a new section that I put in the member portal.
Oh, thank you.
Great.
Yeah, and then hopefully but yeah, anybody please jump in on that.
And what other roles are there out there? So we've got the mission vision community. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think once Rob and I and Zoe and maybe Kim, you're gonna hear it as people share.
Ah.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of roles, so maybe I can just share. So in the member portal, right, there's a new page called roles. And the idea here is to list all the roles, that are current, or all the roles that either that we need. So whether those are actually being held by somebody or yet, like as we go, and again in this group sort of crowdsourced way, people can put down roles that we need. So some of these were. This list came from one of our meetings, and we're just starting to put them up, and yeah. So right now, I think that right now we have kind of like the role details here, but I think it's probably So thank you. So the second idea of this is to share, these are the roles, who's holding them, which ones need a role holder. And then also, and I think it'll probably work better if there's a page for each one, but to write out like the details, the domain, to write out these, the description, the accountabilities, right? So in other words, and Zoe did some of this, so it's a good, example, right, is these are the responsibilities, the accountabilities for each role. And what I know that Saya and I want to work on is doing the same thing, for the writing emails, right? And I've, made some, videos that show some things how to do it. So basically just creating documentation. So that way, and again, Zoe is such a perfect example. When Zoe, goes on this program for a month in April, she can pass that role off to somebody, and it's just really easy for somebody to just jump in here and see like, oh, okay, these are the responsibilities. This is what I need to do. Oh, these are the documents I maintain or whatever, and just pass it along. So that's the idea. So yeah, so I guess right. It's just back to Saya's question, on what roles are people holding, how is that going, or what roles, do we see that folks, that are not being held right now that folks might want to jump in on, or are there other roles that you're like, oh yeah, we need somebody to do this?
I can go off of that. So regarding the Skillshare manager role, I think I can continue to do like checking in with people. Do you want to do a Skillshare, setting up Skillshares? I feel comfortable sending a summary of how the Skillshare went to the Discord and maybe someday the social media after with like a screenshot. I also feel comfortable, and maybe I have to improve a little bit on it, but sending Saya like little update. It's usually just the same thing I post onto the Discord, but I send her that and she kind of uses her word magic to incorporate it into the newsletters. However, now that there's this awesome Skillshare voting tab that Newman made, right? Was it?
Hey,
Newman?
yeah.
I don't know if I have enough bandwidth to like manage voting or encourage voting, that sort of a thing. So maybe someone else could take on that, or maybe it'll just be an organic thing and people just add to it and vote on it as they like. What do you guys foresee the Skillshare voting looking like?
Yeah. It may need management. I don't think it's although I don't know. It looks like it's crowdsourced in pretty good as it is, but it really would need someone to contact folk and do, I think.
Yeah, probably wants and that's also something that we can try out, like in a way, like it probably wants, a manager or somebody can sort of take on that role and then just be like, oh, well, it really doesn't need all that much, or it doesn't even need a role. But, there is a way where, at least, to me, I think that there's probably another, there might be another method or way to organize it, especially if it starts to get like really long. And also, right, there's a management aspect of, this is something that I think, is sort of like a couple steps, or maybe not, that far away, but, also like who's in this, like who is a manager, or I mean, who is a member, of HSC. So like, how many people, right? So if somebody comes in and they put a bunch of these in here and then they go like inactive, right? So somebody needs to then like, archive those, or, so I think that there's, as we go along, right, there's management of this, and maybe there's another way to have people vote, rather than these, maybe there's these check boxes just in one box.
Yeah. And or, because this is really just another way to view our needs and offerings. It's another way of putting up an offering that is a Skillshare offering, I guess. So it's sort of like a subset of what's already actually on the thing. To answer the question of how I sort of envision it, it could be that because this is really fun to look and see like all the different, Skillshare possibilities. Like kind of like scrolling through like like courses that you can take. And it might be fun as a community and possibly one of these community governance sessions to where we just look at the slots that are open in the next time period and say, oh, let's do automating a social media campaign with Newman, and get it done day with Saya, and email marketing with Rob, and then do a process around that. Like, what would it be like if in, what's today's March 12th? Let's just like, what's the next 4 open slots and pick those open slots. as a community, you know, in support of this document. And the voting is more like preference, you know, it's just like, oh, you know, like this wouldn't be a binding vote or anything, but it would just gauge, like have a little level check or a sentiment or preference.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I understood, that the spreadsheet was like more for like those of us who are interested in offering skill shares, like we want to offer something that people actually want to receive. And so it's a good confirmation to offer things that people are interested in rather than offering a skill share and having 2 people show up or one or just nobody because it's just not the most engaging topic at the time. Does that make sense? Like to sort of connect the dots on what we have to offer and what the community is like wants to show up for or wants to receive at that time.
Hmm.
And not, yeah, so not so much voting as in terms of like ranking it or prioritizing, but like
Visualize.
affirmation that if I'm going to offer something, yeah, people like that it's wanted.
Yeah. Right. Because I'm interested in all these things, you know, or I wouldn't have put them down. But I also want to put, you know, if like nobody cares about something, then that's fine. I just don't want, you know. So it's like I see 2 here, right? So I would just be like, oh, okay, well, I'll do one on email marketing or, you know, your tech stack.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that idea, Newman, of like some of this management can be done during a meeting.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. That sounds so efficient. It's such a good use of everybody's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And-
like the idea of the work being done in the meetings, sort of, you know, because of we time block this time to do HSC stuff. And then, yeah, it would be a cool collaborative way. And then we all get together and do the thing. Yeah, it would be cool.
Great. Cool. So great. Thank you so much. So Zoe, I just want to circle back to you in terms of like your roles and if there's anything else. Like that was so clear. Thank you so much about like articulating what you're down for and what you don't want to take on, and maybe no one needs to take that part on for now.
That
But is
was
there anything
really
else
helpful.
you
Yeah.
wanted to say?
I appreciate all of that. And it sounds like I can just use this tab to kind of know who to contact first. Maybe like, wow, there are a lot of X's, you know, votes on this class by this person. I'm going to reach out to that person first, maybe, and explore if they want to do a skill share. Maybe it could be like a help with my prioritization of who to contact, stuff like that. Though right now it's not so many people, so I will be contacting all of you. And then there's like youth who I don't know, and someone else will probably contact them. Who wrote Youst?
Yost. I assume that was Basil.
That was
Cool.
me.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think so Zoe, does it sound like, you know, in the accountabilities, does it sound like this would be then, you know, the accountability, you know, like this Skillshare, this voting tab, you know, would be in that Skillshare manager accountability? Because I do think, you know, as you go along, there might be, you know, like we might see like, oh, this, you know, wants to be arranged in a certain way, or we need to, you know, figure like, you know, somebody needs to put in. Yeah.
I feel less, I feel more like less disoriented now that I see it and see how it works. And I see that it could sort of organically function. I don't need to always ask people to go vote every single week or something. So yeah, I feel better about it. And how should we phrase that? Where is it? I'm gonna take a look at my role, and I don't think I have ability to edit this. Do I, Rob? How do I edit this?
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh, you are Zoe Plankton
good-
at Gmail is the owner.
yeah.
Oh.
why-
Not of the note, not the notion.
The
Yeah, you
notion.
can.
Oh, the notion. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I think I must have to. Oh, that's about. Yeah, I must have to change it because it's. I guess it got made. Everybody actually needs access to be able to edit it.
Cool.
Yeah, like everyone, but here, let's just do the people while we're here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so,
Using.
all right. What other roles?
Great.
So
And
let's,
I can share quickly, just,
great.
yeah, so I've taken on, I'm like in the middle of like a 2-month commitment to take on the newsletter, the weekly email. And I really appreciate that Zoe and Josh and Rob, like, and I, with different pieces of content have been written by different ones of us, and that's really great. Like, yes, this is so nice to have everybody chiming in and sending me the content for that. And please keep doing that. Anytime that you're going to be leading a meeting or leading a skill share, it'd be great if you have like a little write-up for that, or if you can't, make sure that I know, or Rob, so that someone can describe your meeting or your skill share for that newsletter. My need is more of like a personal one, is that I'd like to work on that newsletter earlier. Like, it's been getting a little late sometimes to work on it on Mondays, and I often don't work over the weekend. So if you all are wanting to get me content, it'd be really great if I can have it Thursday or Friday. So that I can do it Thursday or Friday, or maybe first thing Monday morning. So I apologize, the email did go out a little late yesterday. It was 5-ish, 5 something. Little, well, for Eastern time anyway, a little late in our quote work day here. So that's my need. My need is to organize myself better to do it sooner. And also just reminding anybody to send me your content the week before. That's it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and I mean,
and
tasks and roles I'm doing, I'm also facilitating this meeting and a few other meetings that I already did. And happy to do another skill share at some point. I probably won't do anything other than the email stuff during May. I actually might want somebody to take on the email management for May. It's a very busy month for me. So just a little advance about that. If anybody can percolate that and think about taking this role for May or May and June, that would be amazing.
okay.
It wasn't all clear until I started talking. It got more clear.
That's why, I guess that's why we're having the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. And I think part of the roles, again, we're just kind of starting this, but is to create this page, and then to put down all of the documentation, as we go along. I think is a big piece. So does anybody, like, in my perception, so I'm sort of trying to get the onboarding, set up. So my perception is that there's, that there's Saya and Zoe and I are the only ones who are really like holding roles, that have like specific accountabilities now. Is that perception incorrect? Or does anybody else be like, oh, I have a role?
Say it again, Rob. I'm sorry.
Does anybody else feel like they are currently holding a role where they have like specific accountabilities that they're responsible for?
You know what, I'll jump in here because it's just because something I was just thinking of, and that's the time period. Saya was saying, and I think it's great because the like time commitment, taking the role on for this month. It's like I'm doing the emails for this month, and then in May and June, I can't do it or won't be able to do it during that time. So could we make a could we put like the where the time, like the timing out and the periodicness, like who, holding this role from now till then? Because, and I guess the reason why that your question brought that on was because in the past, so last year about this time, I was doing the onboarding role and sort of working through the process there. And it would be cool to get the handoff from the previous role. For instance, like, I was like, maybe in May I can do the email, so it's like that's 4 or 5 emails, and what the process is and what that entails. So it's like this handoff or quote unquote transfer of power, transfer of responsibility, or the baton passing would be a real. And I think in the permaculture sense, it's a border, so it's like, here's a mark, a border, so that we kind of need to pay attention to those. Yeah.
Great idea. Yeah, really cool to have a field for that.
I see a simple spreadsheet that is like the chores, the roles going down, the column A, and then like the months going across the columns.
Yep.
And then who is plugged in, so that we could like look out over time and make sure that at least like 3 months in ahead of time we can see, if there's any issues, and if anything comes up, then we like quick flip. But yeah, like if while we'll be like documenting like the role commitments in the DAO, but we just need a simple job board just to see like what's available or what needs to be filled, so that way Sai can say, I'm doing this and this month, and then leaving it blank for the months that she can't do it, and then she can maybe fill in, so some sort of way to sort of like project out, to make sure that there's continuity, and then as part of the process, in the part of the process, like that overlap, that edge, there will always be like an internal meeting between the previous or the current role holder and the next role holder, just for the handoff before the end of the period. So that has to be kind of like coordinated between them.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. I think of that as like visualizing the work. So the sort of idea of visualizing, because we could put it down in the Notion page where he is on the screen now, where it's like Skillshare manager is Zoe, but how long we could put, role commitment through. Okay, we're doing it. Yeah. So, but there it's not as visual. Like if it was in a calendar format or the arrow of time, we can say, here are the times. And then, when you're making the decisions, like, I want to be the Skillshare manager in the summer, and then who did it in the past, and if next year or the year before, you can say, these are how it's all done, so you could contact them, do a sort of a meeting and whatnot. Yeah, that would be.
I think that the fastest way to get that going is to create an HSC operations calendar Google sheet, and then we can just make a tab for this calendar year, and go ahead and and then copy that tab for the next calendar year, and then even like backfill just for reference, who's done what this year, but that way we can like collect those sort of ongoing annual and then we can add more tasks, we can add more roles down the column, and we can group them or whatever. But the main thing is that for each field, each little field, there'll be like a name, and those could be like pull downs. Like everybody who's a member, they can be entered into a pull down option. So those things are just really quick and easy to just pull down and select and then alternate or leave blank. You know, for in that Google Sheet tab. I mean, that's something that I could do the first version, you know, so you don't have a bazillion things to do, Rob. It shouldn't take me long to do it, but you know, I just need to be
I'm doing it now. I'm doing it
Yeah.
now. You
So-
screen share. I'm doing it. I'm doing it on the email sign up, but
And so to be clear, what I'm hearing is, and this makes sense to me, you know, what I'm hearing is that in Notion, what this roles page is the documentation that we're, you know, that we are, the role holders are contributing to and continually upkeeping, right? So that way when Saya's like, you know, well, okay, I'm not able to do, you know, I'm, you know, my commitment is done for this, you know, cycle or whatever. Then and the new person comes, they just know exactly where to go, right? And this is kind of internal in the member portal. Not everybody needs to, you know, see all the you know, gritty details in the notes. And then what I'm hearing is that, you know, we have just the basic kind of spreadsheet. Hey, this is the role. This is the holder, you know, this is who's holding it. This is who they're holding it until their cycle, until whatever we want to call it. And you know, so that way kind of everybody can see and people can sign up and understand theirs. So does that sound like I reiterated it correctly? Cool. And so it also sounds like right, like Newman and then, you know, Basil maybe want to work on it or create it.
yeah.
Love it. I love that it's on the same document as other signups. I really like going to one link for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
we keep having to change it. I think it's great. You know,
Yeah, just keep making it bigger.
We have to change. We need it more, but I really like it, right? And this is, of course, I just want to say, because I like saying this, feels like a very crowdsourced, you know, group mind kind of creation. But what I'm seeing here, right, is that the member portal is really more like internal. You know, this is like, you know, for the members, we're finding, you know, all this, you know, kind of like, it's so we have one place to find like all the documentations with lots of, you know, stuff. And then this is, you know, is for the members, but it's also external, you know, and it's like our one-stop shop for like just the signing up, you know, in simple ways.
Makes sense. Love it.
Cool.
Way to go,
Um,
everyone.
Yeah. So I know, sorry, I sort of like, but I've done a lot, you know. So I guess the last question for me, and then of course I want to, you know, pass it back off to Sai because I'm also seeing the time, you know, is like for folks to take a look at these and see like if there's any of them that are interesting or think that they, you know, like, you know, that folks could take on either like a whole role or part of a role. You know, there's like there's a big role like community manager. What does that mean? I don't, you know, but there's also something that's just like managing, you know, Discord. Right? Maybe somebody wants to create new pages on Notion. Yeah. And I'm sure more of these will get, you know, created as we go. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I'm gonna stop.
I'm gonna
Great.
say, I'm trying to get it to paste transposed. When you've got a column of data in a spreadsheet, you can paste it to where it takes the column and spreads it out to the rows, but I couldn't make it work. And then I think the green person just typed in the months, which is very cool. We've got
Yeah,
like
so it's like
team.
it's not like an official role anywhere, but like Newman's been expanding this spreadsheet now, second time here. So you're taking on these tasks and roles, you know, it's kind of in the moment, Newman. That's really cool.
It's a spreadsheet wrangler.
Yes. Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
which actually means that the time is going short. I've got a meeting at the top of the hour. So I should start signing off.
That's great. Well, thank you for being here
Yeah.
when you have been, as you are. Yeah. And
Rock and roll.
jumping into stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. HSC is my jam. You guys, big love to everybody here. Super happy. And this looks great. Look, we're getting it done, and things are moving along. And I'm stoked to give this a skill share. I think that showing people how to use Buffer would be a real benefit. So I think that's April 30th would be ideal for me.
Great.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Stay in touch.
Newman.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for jumping in.
Bye. Yeah, and so for the rest of us, I guess we probably also want to really be wrapping up. Not quite sure how to do that. And we want to do a quick round of like just appreciation or takeaways. Let's do that. Anybody wanna start?
I could start. Thank you for the hot potato game. Similar to Joshua's improv word game from the last Skillshare, it got me to use parts of my brain that I don't usually use, which is always good. And it was also super productive. And good luck to the subcommittee. What's the word? Boiling it down into something concise. It's super cool to see both the portal and the document that get a more, yeah, to get Newman's input on the document was really good, and those extra tabs are really nice. And I had something to say that was important. I'm getting distracted. Oh yeah, there's also an open Skillshare on April 16th. And it would be awesome if someone wanted to do it, but sadly I won't be there. So maybe no one do anything. Maybe we should just like not do it so I could not miss anything, but I could also watch the video. So if you are free on the 16th and want to do Skillshare, you should sign up on the document. And I'll watch the video. That's it.
We'll do a real crappy one.
Okay, good.
So you don't miss anything.
Good.
Just kidding.
Okay. Whoever wants to go next.
I'm gonna go because I gotta go. I got another meeting. So yeah, thank you for everything, everyone, and you'll see me online on the committee. See you.
Thanks, Kim.
Yeah, I can go next. Thanks. What was a cool meeting, and yeah, the hot potatoes, they also woke me up a little bit, I guess. It was good. For me, it's the morning here. I had my breakfast in between. Yeah, and also good to see a little bit more what you guys actually are doing, and the roles and things. Yeah, looking forward to having more. Yeah, I generally speaking, I wouldn't mind doing or some skill shares at some point, but not in April. So I
Good.
can't do your crappy one. Sorry.
Yeah. Great. I look forward to it then.
Okay, I finished building the calendar, and I gave it like easy drop downs we can add more people in over time, but
Beautiful.
you can just
Wow.
like click and fill those up how they're supposed to be.
That's great.
We can try to backtrack too for January and February, just so we have a log there. Yeah.
Mhm.
As we're speaking, I'm recording the next episode of Green Planet, Blue Planet, which is going to be taking a hiatus pretty soon. But it's Bruce Lipton, 80-year-old Bruce Lipton is the guest, you know, quantum physicist, and yeah, yeah, a little controversial, but
Cool.
all right. Skillshare there's a Skillshare next week.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
me. Mhm.
action item number 1 for like immediacy is we just need to create the Holistic Systems Co-op Google Calendar so that we can, and I would say create, I guess just one for now, and then preload it for like every other, you know, Tuesday a Skillshare, and then organizational, you know, coordination meeting or whatever.
Can we work on that together? Because there is a HSC Google Calendar right now, but I just don't I don't exactly know how to facilitate it in the way that you want. So I think that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
what we need is we need a link that we can post in the Discord that anybody can just click on that and add it to their calendar. And then that way I don't need to worry about it. It's already preloaded through the year. And that way I can send it to other people as well easily.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
just need to do that in Google Calendar soonish, like today or tomorrow.
Great. If the two of you can coordinate making that happen, that would be
Yeah.
so cool. Thank you so much for seeing the problem and getting right to it.
Yeah, because I you know, while we were at this meeting, there's a person that I've been waiting to bring in. He's down in Ecuador, Jordan Hunter, and I found him in Thailand. He turned me raw vegan for a minute. He's really powerful like that. But and he's an acro yoga teacher, but he also has a degree in marketing and business admin stuff. So
Yeah.
from Atlanta, and he was just like, okay, I'm going to add it to my calendar, and I'm like, actually, I'm going to get you a calendar. He's like, can't you do that? I'm like, I'll make it happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we make that a task? I don't know if it's a role, but it's a task. Why don't we give that task to you, Basil? And my job in that task will be to get you access, you know, to the, like an admin on that, you know, Google account, right? It is the, you know, there's two Google, right? Like there's a Google workspace, and one is Rob at hscooperative.com, which is mine. And then there's info at hscooperative.com. And
Oh,
that
okay.
info one has the calendar, right? That is sort of like the
Perfect. You just give me the credentials for that, and then I can go in and like work on the calendar generation. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can just do that. Just send me, info. I got that. And then you can send me the password through like SMS or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll check out. Yeah, I just appreciation for everyone. I think that for Saya, thank you for prepping and facilitating this meeting, you know, so great. And for everybody for showing up. And you know, this role, I really like the, you know, like the role spreadsheet and all the work there. It's you know, appreciation for that. It's exciting for me because it feels like there's a, you know, it's sort of creeping more into like, you know, the being able to really facilitate value exchange. And over the last few days, I had a lot kind of pop in about like ways to facilitate that I think might work, you know, things I'm calling like an expertise framework and a knowledge holder and some ideas about the tokenomics and how that might work, you know. So But you know, all of this, you know, there's this foundation that really I think has to be laid before, you know, jumping into that kind of thing. So just appreciation for everybody for allowing us to move down that road.
Awesome. Great. Well, my personal takeaways are like a lot of appreciation for how much we did today. At the same time, while feeling like this balance of we want to be productive, but productivity is not the end goal. So I felt like I loved it when people also shared more personally or like got a little bit off topic, but it was actually on topic. Like I love being able to show up in like an organized way myself, like prepared to facilitate, but also to be in that improv with you all. Like, I didn't know how this was going to go. And I didn't know if hot potato was a good idea. And then we changed the agenda and like, it's a real good learning curve for me in leadership that's like circular and like I don't have to show up with having it all figured out and we all figure it out together. So big celebration on all of that. Great. So I suggest we log off because we're just like love to honor everybody's time. Unless there's anybody who like wants to stay on the meeting to discuss with somebody else something. But I think we can see each other next week for Skillshare time.
Hey, thank
Thanks.
you,
See ya.
Have a
everyone.
great week.
Yeah.
Take
Skillshare number
care.
3 and tell all
Yay.
your friends.
Great.
See y'all.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Thanks. Bye. I am going to jump off, and I'll send you the. I realized actually I was wrong. I put the holistic systems calendar on the personal one, but that's all right. It's nothing special to change. You're muted.
Yeah, just send me the credentials for the info and then then we'll just create a new calendar from that.
Yeah. I'll send you the credentials and I'll send you like the little, you know, write-ups that's already there that you can start to take, and then you can create a new calendar from there.
And then you can,
Absolutely.
and then that way you can still keep like for like internal operational calendar things you can do directly on your version, but we'll do like the sort of open source off the
Yeah.
info.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think even internal operations stuff can be on that, you know, it can just be a separate calendar, you know, for internal operations, but all based in that account, right? Because
Yeah,
that way,
sure. So that's the calendar manager. So then we'll create a new role for calendar manager.
oh yeah, that's a great
where's that?
idea. It actually is an ongoing role because every time, right, that's a role I hold now, right? Because every time a new Skillshare comes in, I have to go in, I have to put the Skillshare right up so that way people know, and I have to, yeah. All right. So there you go.
So,
That's a role you can have for the present moment.
yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
All
So
right,
I'll
thank
set
you. I'm
that
gonna
up.
go eat, but I'll send you that stuff later in the evening.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Basil. Awesome.
Yep. Talk soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye.